some things out. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves and how you started the company and where it's at now and stuff, just so we get an idea. How's that sound?
Sure.
Sounds great.
Yeah,
You want to take that, babe?
Yeah. So I am a full-time reseller. That's all my inventory back there. I guess we're coming up on 5 years now. And I started, probably like most of you, just as a hobby, fun thing to do. And it quickly, blew up and I fell in love with it. My first tax season rolled around and it was a nightmare because I hadn't been tracking anything. And guys, I'm married to an accountant. So that's like, no, like shame on me. But anyway, hi, Ada. Anyway, it was a total nightmare and God bless my husband. I think he felt really bad for me and he just created a really basic spreadsheet for myself. And it was very, very helpful. It was just what I needed at the time. And then fast forward, I don't know, a year and a half or two, COVID hit. I've been speaking for the last several years with a bunch of different resellers in the community and just realizing, continually hearing that kind of the same thing, that resellers don't like accounting. Usually they aren't very good at it and they're scared of it. And there also aren't a lot of solutions out there. There's plenty of spreadsheets out there and there's so many helpful things like that. But we realized that there was a big need still. And so, long story short, we took that simple spreadsheet that Paul made me, and he jazzed it up and coded this gorgeous, glorified spreadsheet, but it wasn't even really a spreadsheet because it was so automated. And then we sold that to the reselling community. Starting 2 years ago. I think we got about 500 customers with that with a 5-star average rating. And then we heard from somebody, from one of our influencers, actually. He reached out and he's like, hey, like you guys need to go web-based. If you want to help more people, you need to go web-based. So, and we quickly realized that too, because even though our system was easy to use, people still don't like Microsoft Excel and they get afraid of spreadsheets and stuff. So we were like, okay, yeah. So all of last year, basically we spent in development. And then in November of last year, so about 7 months ago now, we launched our web app, My Reseller Genie, on the web. So we are away from that spreadsheet. We don't sell that anymore. We are purely on the web. And yeah, this guy right here is amazing. He's been the brains behind a lot of this. So that's basically it.
All right. Yeah. No, thanks so much. And she
never
gives herself enough credit. She's the marketing end of the business.
She does an incredible job of marketing it on Instagram. I mean, and thank you so much for giving me the shout out and everything the other day. I was like, oh, look at this video. I'm like, oh, she's saying my name and everything. No, thank you. You do an incredible job of marketing. It's really good.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah. So I'm sorry, I interrupted someone.
Oh, that's okay. I was just going to ask. I haven't tried it yet, but is your web app, is it mobile friendly? Like, can I go on a Chrome and at least get into my inventory? Say if I need to go find something where it's located, can I do that from my phone?
Good question. So basically, if you just, want to use your smartphone and log on, using Chrome or Google or Safari or whatever, you can totally do that. What we tell people is that like you can access any part of the app from your phone, but because, My Reseller Genie deals with a lot of data, we don't recommend, obviously, you aren't going to be able to do any kind of uploads or anything. And we don't really recommend analyzing your sales because the screen is going to be too small. But things like searching for an inventory item or adding a new inventory item, adding a business expense, or recording a sale, like all those things are very easy to do on your phone.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we typically do with these meetings is we give a demo of the software, and then we answer questions based on that demo after the fact.
Paul, is that kind of what you were hoping for?
That sounds wonderful to me. And I'm going to send a link out too in the comments for everybody. I'm frantically trying to get it on my other thing. So go ahead, do your demo. It'd be great. Share away, whatever you guys need to do.
And make sure to share your code, Paul.
Yes, I'm going to share my code.
Perfect.
Excellent. All right. So one more sip of coffee and we'll get this thing rolling. All right. So when you first log into Genie, you got a blank account. This is what it's going to look like. And so the first thing that you need to do is get data.
And real quick, do not be scared by that spinning circle. All that means is that there isn't any data for Genie to work on. So it doesn't mean that anything's broken or anything like that. As soon as you start putting in data, that will go away.
Yeah, so we typically tell people to start with inventory and sales data. If you already are tracking your inventory and sales somewhere, you can download a spreadsheet of that, copy and paste it into our templates, and then upload it. A lot of people we work with don't have anything they're tracking with yet. And so we tell them, okay, grab your reports from your sales platforms. So I'm going to do eBay because we have an integration with eBay where you can pull your inventory and your sales straight from the My Reseller Genie app. So you click initial imports, and then you click eBay, and then step 1, pull data. Now, if you haven't logged into your eBay account yet through My Reseller Genie, it's going to pull this up. You'll click go to eBay, and it'll bring you to this separate eBay screen where you have to review and grant application access to My Reseller Genie. Put your cursor in this permissions window and scroll all the way down. And then there will be a button at the bottom that says agree and continue. If this is still gray for you, it probably means that you didn't scroll all the way through the permissions list. So just do that and you'll be set. All right, so I'm going to click agree and continue. And this will establish the connection between My Reseller Genie and eBay. And now I can get my inventory and sales. So it defaults to show me sales, but I personally just like getting my inventory first. So I'm going to do that. So you click inventory and then click prepare inventory import. Just click it once and give it a couple seconds for it to push that request through. And while we're not waiting. So I'll just, I'll go through and do the sales. All right. So initial imports, eBay, pull data, and now we're doing sales. And you enter the starting date for the sales you want to import, and it'll just pull everything through today. So I'm going to say January 2022. So I'm pulling this year's sales. Click prepare sales import, and that'll come through. I don't have a ton of data that I'm pulling here, so the request went through really quick. But if you have more data and you don't want to wait at all, you can just log off. You'll get an email when the data is ready. If it's been like an hour or something, then that means something probably went wrong. So just reach out to us. But when it's ready, you'll get this notification icon. And if you click on it, it says the data import you requested is ready to download. So you click on that. And of course, I have a whole bunch of files that I've pulled in here. But here's my my inventory and sales that I just pulled. It gives me the date and time of when it was pulled. If for some reason you click out of this screen, you can still get back to it without the notifications. You just click the profile icon in the top right, download files, and it brings you back here. Okay, so I'm going to download my inventory and my sales. Now, if you're a GoDaddy user, you might be saying like, okay, Paul, this is all great and all, but why are you forcing us to download a spreadsheet instead of just putting the data straight into Genie? So the reason for this is because Genie was built with the accrual method for inventory in mind. And so for a lot of our customers, they track all of their costs on a per item basis. And it's a lot faster right now to update those costs in a spreadsheet format than through the app. So that's why we have this intermediate step. We're planning on moving in the direction of having it like everything gets done in the app. We just, haven't made that fast yet. So for now, we have this intermediate step of spreadsheets instead of stuff going straight into the app. Okay, so for eBay sales, when I downloaded that, it downloaded 2 files for me. For some people, it'll download 3. So I've got eBay sales, eBay transactions. Some people are going to have eBay returns. So what does all that mean? Well, let me open up the eBay sales file so you can see what that looks like. So the eBay sales file, that's going to take all of your sales that you pulled, and you'll have your sale price information here. If there's shipping costs that we can associate with a sale, we add it, because in Genie, we store the shipping cost on the actual sale for analytics purposes. And then same thing with transaction fees. Those will get attached to your sales as well. Now, for anything that we can't associate with a sale, it's going to download in this eBay transactions file. So for these transactions, this will be like your store fees every month, or if there's shipping labels that we can't match up to an order, those will download here. But you're going to get all of your transactions in the My Reseller Genie polls, which, you know, if you've dealt with going through all the different transactions in eBay, you know, it's really convenient to just make sure you have all the information coming in. And then I also mentioned there's a returns file. If you have returns, they're going to download in a separate file, like the transactions. Okay, so next up, we're going to upload the eBay sales and the eBay inventory. For the eBay transactions files, right now you have to manually enter those in to the expense detail. If you've got a ton of information in those files, you can just add up the totals and put them in that way for you know, ease of data entry, and then just save that file for your detail later. All right, so when I'm ready to upload my inventory and sales, I'm going to click back to initial imports and then eBay. And step 2, upload inventory. So I'm going to upload a file. I'm actually going to do a different one than the ones I just pulled down, because I've got some more data entered into these.
And guys, while he's doing that, I just wanted to share that you know, we have a lot of written instructions, and then our YouTube channel also has help videos that address specific, you know, parts of using the software. So if you're feeling lost right now, don't worry. First of all, like, you know, getting this setup process done, that's just a one-time thing. Once you're set up, you don't have to worry about it again. But we have lots of resources. So, and yeah, we are here to help as well. And look at that magic. Boom.
Yeah, so there it is. So once you've loaded in your inventory and sales, you'll see this management dashboard start to get some numbers showing up in here. Now, what it does is it takes like the last 13 months of data and gives you your total sales, total cost of goods, gross profit, and net profit. And it presents all that for you for the last 13 months. So you can see the whole last year plus the same month this time last year. All right, so before I dive into the management dashboard a little more, I'll talk about moving forward, like day-to-day, how do you handle Genie? So if you're on the Ultimate plan, we have a eBay integration for like continuous data pulling. And so you can set that up by clicking on the profile icon and going to integrations. And then you click the checkbox here. If you've already signed into eBay, that's all you need to do. If you hadn't signed into eBay yet, it would take you to that screen we saw earlier, and you just give Genie permission to access your eBay account. So once this is set up, I'm going to manually pull information from eBay. I don't think I have any new listings or sales that are going to pull in, but just so you can see kind of how it'll look. Every day, automatically, the eBay integration will pull new listings, sales, and transactions, and you'll get these 2 notifications. Now, if you don't have any new listings or transactions, you'll still get a notification, and it'll just tell you your import of 0 items is ready to submit. And so submit, that one clears out. If you did have new items, listings or inventory, they would pull in, and there's a series of like guided forms that help you to add that information in.
It's very easy.
Yeah,
I love it. It's actually kind of fun.
Yeah, it's different than GoDaddy, because GoDaddy would automatically just insert your sales into their program. There was no like approval process. It just went straight in. For us, we have that approval process because we want to give people more control over what goes into their database. And if you'd already manually entered a listing or a sale, we don't want to double up on that. So that's why we have it that way. Another thing is with the sales, when they pull in, we go into this matching process. So like you match a sale that comes in to an item that's in inventory. So for GoDaddy users who don't want to track their inventory in Genie, they're like, well, what do I do now? And it's really easy. You just like click the go to manual sales matching, add inventory details, match, and push it through. But it's a simple process. It's just a little different from GoDaddy. So if you're ever confused or lost, just reach out to us and we'll get back to you. All right. You can also, if you want to add inventory manually, you can use these forms here. And if you wanted to report a sale manually, you could use the report sale form. Something to keep in mind is for the report sale form, it has to be like you have to select an existing inventory item. So if the item is not in inventory, you'll just need to add it first before reporting that sale. All right, so going back to looking at this management dashboard. So everyone has access to this, and the purpose is to give you a big picture overview of your company. We talked about the top chart already. I think it's one of the most useful charts for just a quick snapshot of your company. So you have your revenue, your costs, and then profits. But moving down, we've got current inventory summary and total sales summary. So if you're tracking your inventory in Genie with cost of goods sold associated with each inventory item, we'll give you your distribution based on the dollar value of your inventory across different departments. So like this seller mostly has clothing, shoes, and accessory in inventory. And then on the other side here for the total sales summary, we give you a distribution of your sales based on department as well. So this user's selling mostly women's goods. And then last but not least, the assets to liabilities chart down here will show you your inventory balance over time if you're tracking inventory in Genie. It'll also show you your estimated income tax liability balance.
Which I love. Can I just say why I love that?
Yeah, it's on my
Okay, so I love this feature because, kind of circling back to what I said about when I hit my first tax season as a reseller, not only was I not tracking everything, but I also wasn't putting money aside, to pay those income taxes. That was totally on me. But My Reseller Genie, actually, we have a little place where you can insert your income tax rate percentage. And what Genie does then is it will calculate that off of all of your sales and then give you an estimate as to how much you might owe at tax time. And that's just so helpful because, you don't only just have those numbers, but you can also, have a visual here on the chart that just kind of shows you, okay, like I'm going to owe this much. And also it's just, I don't know, it's good to just help with planning and stuff. And then you can also record income tax payments as well, which is nice.
Yeah. So that's what we have displayed on this chart right here. If you track sales tax liability, it'll also show up on this chart, as well as cash balance, that doesn't mean paper money. That means the money that your business has. If you use our cash reconciliation tab, your cash balance will show up on this chart. And then for all the numerically inclined people, you have the data down here at the bottom that's displayed in those charts, just for your reference.
And guys, something else that we've kind of more so recently added is these little information icons. if you hover over them, you will basically get a definition or a description, as to what you were looking at. So one of our desires in not only making a software for resellers is we also really want to educate people, because if you're anything like me, I really didn't know anything about my accounting, about my numbers and stuff. So we have these little information icons all throughout the software, just so that you can get just basic definitions,
Education is important. All right, so next up, let's go to sales. So our account that we're working with right now is an Ultimate account. You'll have access to these sales analytics if you're either on Ultimate or Premium. Basic does not have access to these.
And really quick, for anybody wondering, we have three different tiers. Basic is $9.99 a month. Premium is $14.99 a month, and Ultimate is $19.99 a month. And if you use Paul's code, hopefully he's dropped that in the chat, you can get 15% off of your first month. But what my Paul just said is that if you are a basic user, you are not going to have access to these sales analytics.
Yeah, so I really love the sales analytics side of My Reseller Genie. They're very powerful, and we'll get to showing you exactly why in a second. But up top here, you can really quick just sort based on the time range. So you can look at all time, you can look at current year, current month, week, or day. And you'll have these summary statistics at the top to tell you your gross profit, average sale price, and sell-through rate. Moving down into the chart section, we've got the profit and sales detail chart, which is a really high yield chart for just getting insight into your business. So you've got two pieces of information displayed here. The green bar is your gross profit, and the white line is your number of sales. So you can see not only where you're making your most money, but also where you're making your most sales. Right now, it's showing us this information based on department, but if you want to drill into your information more, you can click on this drop down and select category, and it'll show you in more detail where you're making your money and your sales. And you can even go in and see subcategories. So this is like really granular information. But this is a little bit overwhelming to look at. And so we'll come back to this in a couple moments, and I'll show you how you can use Genie to make this information more easy to read and use. But before we get to that, we'll cover these next two charts. So the pie chart on the left is gross profit by days listed. So this gives you your profit based on how long it took an item to sell. We have more or less 30-day ranges. It takes longer for the item to sell, we make the ranges larger, but we have 61 to 90, 0 to 30, 31 to 60, so on and so forth. So this helps you to see, like, if I list an item, how long is it taking to sell? That tells you something about how good your inventory is. It might tell you something about, like, am I holding on to inventory for too long? It's helpful information to have at your fingertips. And then directly adjacent to it is gross profit by platform. So this helps you to see, where am I making the most sales? So where should I be, like, targeting my efforts? If you're using like a cross-posting service, is it like, am I benefiting from the areas I'm cross-posting to, or am I just not really getting a lot of traction there? There's a lot that you can do with it.
And really quick thing on that, because I don't think we've mentioned this, our software is compatible with any and all selling platforms. So I think, like we've even heard from some of you guys, if you sell at an antique booth, or let's say that maybe you do consignments, or maybe, some of you guys are edgy. I am not, or living on the edge and starting to use Whatnot. I haven't done that yet, but I know a lot of people are talking about that. So our software is compatible with any and all selling platforms that you want. And, if that platform isn't already in Genie, you can easily go up to your profile settings and add a new platform. So, one of the things that we realize as resellers and accountants is that it's important to not just track some of your numbers, but you really want to track all of them. Because if you don't have all of them, then, you really aren't going to be prepared for tax time, and you really aren't going to have good insights into your business.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for bringing that up. Okay, and then the last chart down here This is a little bit of a rendition on the first pie chart we looked at. It breaks up your sales based on how long it takes them to sell, but it gives you two pieces of information for each of those windows. So one is the total number of sales, and the other is the average sale price. So, as a reseller, you're probably familiar with like making that emotional decision when someone, provides an offer for your product and you're like, no, I think it's worth more than that. I've seen it sell for, 50% more than that, blah, blah, blah. And it hurts to accept those lowball offers. But the longer that inventory is on your shelf, it's not doing you any good. Mm-hmm. And so the goal with this is to help take some of the emotional side out of that decision making. So you can see over time what your average sale price is. So for this particular seller, after 90 days, it really drops significantly. And so they'd be able to look at their numbers and be like, okay, it looks like maybe after 90 days, I need to just kind of cut my losses and move on. For you, it could be different. The whole goal with this is just to provide that information so that you can make better decisions with accepting offers or declining offers. Okay, now we're getting into the part that gets me really excited about My Reseller Genie analytics. So a lot of people provide analytics, but something that makes My Reseller Genie distinct from others is that you can really control your analytics a lot more than most other solutions I've seen. Actually, all that I've seen, but I'm sure there's others out there that I haven't seen, which are, similar to this. But what you can do is you can apply filters to every field that we track, absolutely every field. So if I want to look at brand, I can say brand contains Athleta. And then, I don't know if you saw that chart update, but every chart up here updates based on the filter I just applied. And if you want to get even more granular, you can apply multiple filters. So if like you have the color in the item title, I can search item title contains black. And now I'm looking at just black Athleta goods that I've sold. You can also, apply time filters in here. There's just like the possibilities are endless for really looking deeply into your data and just getting an understanding of what's going on.
Yeah, this can really help you grow your business, especially when you have even more data in, or data from last year even, because you can see the trends or see how trends are constantly changing. So
yeah, and then another functionality that we have in Genie is tracking returns. And this is really helpful, especially as more and more people are going to be getting 1099s. So for 1099s, the sales number that they give you, it doesn't just subtract returns from the sales. So having a separate record of your sales and your returns is more and more important, because when you get to the end of the year, they send you that form and you want to be able to reconcile your numbers to their numbers. So you can also track returns in Genie. All right, next up, the inventory tab. This is a pretty vanilla tab, so I won't spend too much time on it. One thing I will show you is with all of our tables, you can adjust the columns that you want to see. So if I just wanted to see item title, purchase price, and purchase date, it's really easy to do. Now, this doesn't save right now, like to your profile settings, but if you open up a separate tab, you can have one tab with these settings, and then do other stuff in the other tab. Oh, and then one other thing that you can do is if you want to export your data, it's really easy. You click export and download as a CSV, and all that data gets pulled out. So if you're like a Excel guru and you just, you want to do some fancy analytics that we don't have in the software, you can just pull out a CSV, drop it in a pivot table, and go nuts.
And the rest of us are wondering what a pivot table is.
Yeah, and that's totally fine too. Like, you don't need to do it, but if you want to send it to your accountant or something,
yes, they would be so excited.
Totally optional. All right, so cash reconciliation. I'm not going to spend too long on this because it's probably our least used feature. But basically what this allows you to do is to track how much money your business has in your bank account. So if you're interested in learning more about this, we do have a video explaining it, but since it's not really mandatory for tax purposes, a lot of people elect not to do it. All right, next up is the expense detail. So this is another feature that is only available for premium and ultimate users. And what this allows you to do is record your other business expenses. So like shipping, supplies, mileage for sourcing, office supplies, all that good stuff. If it doesn't get attached to the sale, you put it in here. You can manually enter them by clicking add and selecting a general ledger account. You put in your description, amount, and date, and then you'll have that information. Another feature that we actually just added last night, which we're really excited about, is bank integration.
Woohoo!
So now in Genie, if you're a premium or ultimate user, you can connect your Genie to your bank account. And I'm actually going to do that right now. So the way you do it is I'm going to do it for expenses. So I'll click connect, and then I'm going to name the account. And then you click select, and it's going to take you through to this portal window with our partner who allows us to do this. And then it'll show you a whole bunch of banks based on just the biggest banks out there. But if you have another bank that doesn't show up here, you can search for it. And there's a lot of institutions that are in here, as well as credit unions. Like someone today was asking about the Boeing Employee Credit Union, and there it is right there. Like when they asked, I was thinking there's no way we have that, but yeah.
There's also PayPal too.
Yeah, also PayPal.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, I'm going to I'll log into PNC. And actually, I'm just going to send a text message to me with a security code. So bear with me.
And guys, we are almost done this demo. So if you've stuck around, we'd love to answer any questions that you guys have at the end as soon as we finish up.
All right.
Check that out.
Yeah. And so it allows me to select an account. Click continue. And then I can put in a start date if I want to pull historical transactions. You can, for most accounts, you can do up to 2 years ago. But I'm just going to do from the first of the month. And then when I click add, it's going to load a second. Great. And then it imports my my transactions. Now, when your new transactions get pulled in, you'll get a notification up here that says you've got new expenses to review. And you click on that and assign a general ledger account to everything. So once I've done all that, I can also add descriptions. I'm going to click select all and then mark reviewed, and then that notification goes away. And as new transactions come in, we'll be pulling them into Genie and then asking you to review them as well. All right, but then last but not least, we've got the Reseller Reports tab. So this is where you want to go when you've got
when it's tax time.
Yeah, when you got to file your taxes.
Yes.
Or if you just want insight into your business, that's cool too.
Yep.
I'm going to go from January of 2021 through today.
So guys, we got, well, we were much smaller a few months ago, but we got several people reach out to us when they were filing their taxes using My Reseller Genie and, printing off these reports that we give. And they were just, all saying the same thing. They were like, guys, my tax season was flawless this year and it was seamless. Thank you so, so much. So we were really, really excited about that, just to be able to, give you guys just something easy, just run a report, give it to your accountant. They're happy. You're happy. Boom, done.
Yeah, we love hearing that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I just ran a profit and loss summary. This isn't what you would use for taxes. This is just kind of a quick snapshot look at your company. If you want to get in more detail and see like the different expense categories, you can select the profit and loss detail. And then when you run that, it'll show you, oops, I got something going on here. It'll show you your income based on the departments, and it'll also show you your, there we go. It'll also show you for each one of these headings up here, what makes up those numbers. So if you're looking at cost of goods sold and you're a little confused, just know there's a difference between cost of goods sold on your taxes and cost of goods sold in accounting and reporting. In this info icon here, we have some information about profit and loss statements and why they are set up the way they do. So take a look at that. It'll help you with analyzing your business and just understanding some accounting reporting if you're into that. Okay, so, and then last but not least, especially for those of you who use accrual method inventory accounting, you might be looking at the cost of sold inventory number and thinking, well, that's great, you have it there, but on the Schedule C, you need the beginning inventory balance, the purchases during the year, and the ending inventory balance. So this doesn't really help me, and you're right. But if you click the inventory report and you select the year for your tax year, you run that, ta-da, yeah, it's got all the numbers for you. Your starting balance, purchases, and ending balance, and then finally the cost of goods sold that it should calculate out to. And you can also download CSV files, seeing the detail for what makes these numbers up. So that's the grand finale. And yeah, I'll stop sharing my screen and we'll get into answering some questions now.
Okay. I don't know who, Paula, do you have any questions? Since I know you just jumped in there. I don't mean to put you on the spot there. I just want to make sure you're.
No, I do. I have a few questions.
Okay, ask away then. And then
So,
somebody else jump in.
I see, I did the bank integration today, and that went very smoothly with the credit union. And I also did PayPal. My question is, it brings in PayPal income, but I still have to go in manually like I would have to with GoDaddy to list what inventory items sold and that it's sold on Facebook, correct? Because that's where my PayPal income mostly is, from Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, I see. So you're saying it's bringing in income that was for sales on Facebook Marketplace.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah. So for those, for those, you'd probably want to delete that line that comes in, because it won't do you any good in the expense detail. And then, report those sales separately.
Separately. Okay. And that's what I had to do in GoDaddy anyway. So that's not
Gotcha.
really a big deal.
That's a good question.
Yeah, really good question.
Okay. And those sales are not anywhere near as many as eBay or Mercari. So I would typically just do it on the sale basis. When it's sold, I would just go right in and do it. So I should just do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Another question I had is, I went a little upload crazy and I got myself confused. If I upload something twice, does it know it? It'll tell me it's a duplicate or just won't work?
Gotcha. Yeah. So we don't have that functionality yet.
Okay.
But it's really easy to delete a duplicate upload. Mm-hmm. And I'll actually share my screen and show how you would do that.
Yeah, we're so excited about this feature because it's so easy to use.
Yeah, so if you click the profile icon up top, you can select upload history, and then you can see what you've uploaded. And if I had 2 sales reports here, I could select one of them and then just click delete uploaded items, and it'll delete all of them from your account.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Awesome. All right, and then Ada typed in the chat, at what stage in a new seller biz is the Genie service most useful? So
Good question.
yeah, I love it.
Mhm.
I love it. I'd say it's useful for all stages. If you're like a new seller, you really want to get on your numbers as soon as possible. With a lot of resellers, people kind of enter it accidentally. Like you start selling your personal items and then you get the bug and you start finding yourself at thrift stores and, wherever there's a good deal. And then you get to the end of the year and it's like, shoot, I made a lot of money.
Mhm.
So if you happen to be one of the lucky people who thinks about like, oh no, this is turning into a business, I need to be accounting for it, before it becomes too overwhelming, I would get a solution as soon as possible.
Yeah. And, even if you're just starting out, our basic plan is just $10 a month. That's going to give you inventory tracking, sales tracking. It doesn't give you the expenses. So, if you're, purchasing other things for your business, you would probably want to upgrade, or, you could just keep those separate in a notebook somewhere, just so that you're tracking all of those and get those deductions. But, just so long as you're, as you're tracking your inventory and sales, if you're doing it that way, it's really, really important. And let me just speak from personal experience. I made the mistake of not tracking from the beginning. And I only got 5 months in. I think I started in like October, and then, tax season was April or whatever. So I was like 6 months in, and I was a beginner seller. So I wasn't even making that many sales. Guys, I was stressed out for 3 months trying to pull together my numbers. It was just no fun at all. So, whether or not you use Genie, call me a horrible salesperson, but whether or not you use Genie, just having some tracking method is just really, really important. And it is going to save you a lot of headaches, and it's going to help you to grow and just not be as stressed out.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah. Paula, did you have more questions?
I don't think so. I just need to go back and look at those files and make sure I've not brought
Sure.
anything
Yeah.
twice.
So let me ask Paula a question, and I'm not putting you on the spot, please. I just want to make sure that people understand what the transition was like. Was the transition easy for you from GoDaddy to My Reseller Genie? Was it? Are you impressed with what you bought so far? I just want to make sure people understand, that it's good.
Well, I was a little hesitant at first because it was a huge change, but I had to make some kind of change. And I've heard that QuickBooks is not really the best when it comes to inventory, and I use an accrual method. So I went with My Reseller Genie, and right off the bat, he sends you a whole bunch of emails linked to YouTube videos, and he goes through everything step by step. So I was able to just bring that up, pause it, do it, play it, pause it, do it again. And I just went step by step with everything. There are so many videos out there, and he explains it all so well that it really was very easy to do. And I've been having fun playing with it.
Sweet.
Good.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. We're glad to hear that. We put a lot of
like
effort
I said in the beginning, their customer service has just been the top, better than I've had from any other company.
Well, even like on Facebook and stuff, I mean, you guys respond really quick with, even a question on Facebook, and, it's just, well, that's what makes you guys good. You gotta answer the questions. I
just don't know when you guys sleep.
Usually at nighttime, sometimes during the day. It looks like Bill has a question.
All right, yeah. So Bill's saying, can you see charts or reports from each platform? Yeah, so Bill, let me share my screen and show you how you would get analytics by platform. So if you go into sales, obviously we do have this chart that shows you gross profit. Now that's not a ton of detail.
Yeah, and also like you're going to see more selling platforms on that pie chart if you have uploaded more.
Yeah, I've only got eBay. Let me see if I can upload some Poshmark sales data real quick.
There you go.
So we can right click that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But you just did eBay.
Yeah, but I mean it doesn't actually matter.
Oh.
It's just for clarity.
Oh, I gotcha.
When people are getting set up.
Gotcha.
Oh shoot, I didn't upload that file right. All right, I think that's a good one. Okay, there we go.
Hooray.
That was only a few sales. All right, so I think those are Poshmark. Let me double check the sale platform. Yeah, those are Poshmark.
Okay.
All right, so if I wanted to look at just my Poshmark sales, what I would do is scroll down to the sales detail and click filters, sale platform contains Poshmark. And so only sales that were sold on Poshmark will be showing up now. And so I can dig into like department, category, subcategory, gross profit by days listed, all this good stuff, doing that.
Any other questions? Anything?
I actually have two questions, if I could.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
If you have more than one eBay store, can you pull that info in, and does Reseller Genie delineate the two stores, or is it lumping like I'm trying to figure out, because I have more than one store because of the type of items I sell. So am I able to import that into Reseller Genie? And then how does that look? Does it look as one thing, or is Reseller Genie separating my two stores?
Good
Gotcha.
question.
Yeah, really good question. So at this time, you're not able to integrate more than one eBay store with My Reseller Genie.
Meaning using the automation.
Right.
Yeah.
So what we tell people is if you have two stores, pick the one that has more activity on it and connect that one to Genie. And for the other store, to delineate it, you can create a separate sales platform that says like eBay Store 2 or even your eBay store name. And then when you add those sales, you can select that separate eBay sales platform to keep the accounting for those stores differentiated. Yeah. And there's like for adding those sales, you can upload those separately so they wouldn't come through the eBay integration. But you can get them from eBay in a report, format it to put it into Genie, and then upload it that way.
Gotcha. Is that complicated? I'm almost thinking like it's almost either you get two paid, Reseller Genies, or maybe at some point it might be something you guys can consider, because I know a lot of sellers do have two stores to delineate, if you're doing clothing versus collectibles, and you kind of want to keep it separate because you want your customers to see your specialties. So I think I'm not the only one that would be running into this. I'm going to see how I can make it work, but it might be something you guys can consider, maybe like as an add-on. If you've got this second store, can you pay an additional to have it integrated fully?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And we will be adding that functionality because sellers have been saying,
People have been
like,
asking for
Beautiful.
that.
I've got 2 stores, 3 stores, 4 stores.
Yeah. And it's just, if you're so different in what you sell, it just makes life easy to have it separated, and then when you go to do your accounting, the whole thing is when you go to Reseller Genie, you want it to kind of see, you know what I mean? And I'm like an idiot. I'm lucky I know 1 + 1 = 2, let alone all this other stuff. So the more you give me, the happier I will be, because I'm my accountant's worst nightmare. And he's told me you're my worst nightmare. He's just told me you're my worst nightmare.
I'm so sorry.
And then my other question.
Mine too.
Yeah, no, the other question is, I know a lot of, because of the cost of postage, a lot of sellers are going outside of eBay. They're going to pirate ship and things like that. Any plans to possibly integrate that or get a conversation like to bring, because I know a lot of resellers are using pirate ship. So you're not getting your shipping cost through eBay. It's coming off of another platform. I know you can kind of manually put it in, but if you're doing enough, is there some way, because I know pirate ship does integrate with eBay somehow, but I'm wondering if you guys can kind of bring it to the next level and have those shipping costs brought in.
Yeah. So with Pirate Ship, let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
When you buy shipping from Pirate Ship, I'm guessing you'll have a credit card connected and it'll will it bill you for like the full day or a full week? Like how does the
Per
the charge-
transaction. And then you go and put
Per
the tracking number. You don't put the cost in unless you do it in like a memo on eBay to yourself. But then what you do is you put the tracking number in, and that's how eBay knows that you've bought postage. But it's a per transaction kind of thing, at least for me.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
I think you can upload where you have your credit card and it's a running thing that they take out, but I do it per transaction.
Okay, great. Yeah. So with the bank integration, you can get those shipping fees coming in. Assigning them to sales,
Mhm.
that'll be a separate thing that we'll need to build. So like when you're reviewing your expenses, if we had a button that said like assign this to a sale, and then it pulls up a list of your sales. But yeah, so like the process will be automated right now, just not assigning it to a sale.
Got it. Now, this all sounds great. It's just I know you guys are kind of developing and things are so fluid because 1 minute's one thing, but like I said, even with the shipping, if the post office increases any more, you know, so sellers are looking outside of eBay, and then to try to pull that in, I know it's manual, but sometimes you forget, or, you know, and it just, if there's some way to streamline it so it all comes into you guys, again, would make my life really.
Yeah. So if you connect your credit card that's paying for pirate ship, it will come in.
Perfect.
It will come in automatically, and then you'll be prompted to like assign
Thank you.
a general ledger account. Yeah, sure
Yeah.
thing.
And the eBay integration, like daily pulls, you know, your transactions as well. So you don't have to even click a refresh button.
And I saw one other thing. You integrate with other platforms. Would that be like I saw Poshmark, I saw Mercari. If you're on a Facebook or a Depop or anything like that, how does that work? Are you able to pull that in, or did I miss something with that?
Okay, yeah. So just to clarify that, we don't actually have an integration with Poshmark and Mercari. What we have is an auto formatter for their reports.
Mhm.
So you can pull a report from Poshmark or Mercari, and then upload it, and we'll format it into what it needs to look like to upload to My Reseller Genie.
Okay.
Yeah. So Christine, I'm not sure if you missed when I said earlier, like My Reseller Genie is compatible with all selling platforms, but as far as there being automation for those platforms, there's currently only automation for eBay.
Gotcha.
So the other platforms, it's going to be more of a manual process to add in those inventory items in sales.
Gotcha.
But this is not the end. We are just at the beginning. And we were working hard on adding new features. So
yeah. And if you had a lot of sales to record from another platform, you could pull a report from that platform, copy and paste it into our template, and then upload it that way.
yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I did, Christine. It worked really easy. It was fast.
Yeah, no, that sounds like it would work. Okay.
Yeah, thanks for the questions.
Yeah. And Bill, you are very welcome. I'm glad that answered your question.
Yeah.
Any other questions from anybody?
I don't know.
Hi.
Nope, here's somebody. Go ahead.
So I'm like in the process of my business. So I hope to get off the ground in the near future. So and then I would, see if I would like to that time consider it. So I just was wondering, I don't know, Mr. Paul, I sent you a message. I know you're busy. I don't know if you saw it. I was just asking if the replay would be available to listen to at a future time when, it'll be appropriate for me to consider it.
Yes. I'm going to work on that. I'm recording this, and please feel free to join the Raleigh eBay Meetup group. We meet on Zoom like we're doing here. We meet the second Thursday of the month at 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know where you're at, but it's a good group of people. These are a lot of the members that are in my group have joined us here tonight. So
okay, great.
So
I'll
have a
be
really
back.
good group. Okay,
Thank
and I
you.
will get
So-
that recording. I've got your email address. I'm assuming you came in and registered and everything through Zoom, or
Yeah, I came
Okay.
via Meetup. Yeah.
cool. Okay. All right. So just give me some time. I want to get the video all together.
Sure.
And And I want to ask My Reseller Genie, would it be okay for me to post some of this on YouTube to put the word out for you guys? Is that cool?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
We appreciate
cool.
that a lot.
No problem. Anything to help you guys
Feel
out.
free to
You
link
know?
our site. That'll help with SEO.
Okay, you bet. And don't forget, use that link I sent if you guys are interested in joining My Reseller Genie. You get the 15% off the first month, and I get a little tiny bit. It's not much, trust me. So it helps us out. Cool. All right, so I don't want to hold anybody up. Are we done? Any other questions?
It looks like
Thanks
Bill
for
had
spending some
one
time
other
with us.
question.
Go ahead, Bill.
So
Oh,
he
we're-
asked, where are you on Amazon? Yeah, so it's a good question, Bill. We haven't started working on an integration with Amazon yet. We have had a couple people requesting that. So it's on our radar, but I would say it's still probably a little ways away.
Mhm.
One of the difficulties we're going to have integrating with Amazon is getting access to data. So we'll probably be reaching out to users who are Amazon sellers to help us as we're in development on that.
Okay, so let me speak for Bill since his microphone's off. He runs the Amazon Meetup group for Raleigh, and they also run an advanced Amazon group too. That maybe they could be a connection for you guys if you need to ask any questions or anything.
Awesome.
You could, talk to that group. I can send you that link for you if you want to. Just
Yeah,
today or
that'd be
tomorrow.
very helpful.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. guys.
Cool.
Oh, thank you, Bill. We would love to do that.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yep. If you guys are on our email list, well, if you aren't on our email list, just go to our website. It's just www.myresellergenie.com. If you scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, you can just enter in your email address, and then you'll automatically get put on our mailing list. And we send out like the really big updates, to the mailing list. So like last night we, emailed everybody and said, woohoo, bank integration is here. So yeah, but you'll be getting updates that way. And then, on our social media accounts, if you follow those as well.
Cool. All right. Wonderful. I guess we could call it a night.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Steve with Raiken Profits. I'm here with Paul, and I just want to shoot a quick testimonial for him because he's been one of my good friends for over, 4 or 5 years now?
Yeah.
And if you're looking to learn about selling on eBay and you want to start a side hustle, or you just want to make some money flipping stuff on eBay, you're in great hands. Paul's been doing this for a long time. He's helped a ton of people, and I put my full faith and trust in him. So, Paul, I appreciate you.
You bet. Thank you so much.
You got it.